with a giant claw powerful enough to pull a crocodile-like teeth and a sail on its back. It's the biggest, baddest, weirdest dinosaur you've never heard of. Its name is Spinosaurus. But it's not over. Enter Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus deserves celebrity status too.
Spinosaurus is any other giant creature, and it's just plain weird looking. It certainly is one of the great stars in the history of dinosaurs.
Spinosaurus has earned its Hollywood star. It's big and bizarre with a seriously bad attitude.
I would love to see what this creature actually was like, moving around, looking for food, just even standing there. To see such a creature
Resurrected, it would be a walking nightmare. And its horror credentials really go off the chart when you realize that it is also a 60-foot-long hyper-carnivore.
It was a giant. It was the biggest of the meat-eating dinosaurs we know about. It had a look, and it had these really weird, elongate spines coming out of its back to form a sail or a fin. Things that make it distinctive compared to all the other giant dinosaurs.
How could this amazing creature be such an unknown quantity? The answer is simple. The fossil evidence that could confirm its star status was obliterated.
Look at how... What we do know about Spinosaurus is, rather than the railroad...
Why did it have such huge forearms, tipped with gigantic claws?
The claws and hands of Spinosaurus, honest to goodness, are like industrial meat hooks.
And what about that bizarre spine that gives Spinosaurus its name?
All those four.
In order to find out, we must travel back 95 million years.
Or certainly, when we go and look at the environment that
But one alpha predator ruled them all. Spinosaurus. What gave him his killing edge? We are lucky. We have resurrected a monster. But 95 million years separates us from this huge killer. Spinosaurus was the world's meat-eating dinosaur. Yet it has become a postscript in dinosaur history. Never heard of. Spino, however, was unlike any dinosaur ever found. It seemed doomed to remain a mystery. Amazingly, we're able to reconstruct Spino. And when it was done, it proved to be an absolute monster. 60 feet in length, 7-foot forearms, 15-inch claws, and 9 tons. Spino was nearly as long as this 18-wheeler and 6,000 pounds heavier. And it outweighed and outreached the legendary T-Rex and every other big predatory dinosaur. Size matters, but the weaponry matters even more. And rebuilding Spino's toolkit is the key to understanding what and how it killed. Paleontologists want to know how prehistoric predators do their dirty work. The teeth tell the tale. Scientists study teeth the same way a detective looks at a murder weapon. Spinosaurus was the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever to stalk the Earth. But most people have never heard of it. Now figure out how it lived, hunted, and killed.
Resurrecting a dinosaur like Spinosaurus is pretty difficult.
And it looks like Spinosaurus used a similar technique.
When Spinosaurus got its jaws onto its victim, it would go back and forth, yanking out chunks of meat, and as it's thrashing back and forth, that victim's neck could be broken.
3 times as long as the biblical prey. It needed to be. Could use their tails like giant clubs. A lash from the tail of one of these giants was like getting smashed with a telephone pole. So how does a 9-ton, 60-foot monster with a sail on its back manage to be both quick and maneuverable? The answer is in its feet.
This is an adaptation for speed and for forward locomotion. So if you look at the leg and the foot of a meat-eating dinosaur, it's all about moving forward.
To keep 9 tons of speeding Spino on track, the monster's hips and leg bones were engineered to withstand huge stress and torsion.
They have this really strong bone box, essentially, that forms this big muscle attachment point. It's like the girders on a bridge. So then they can have these big leg muscles that come up and attach to this bone box, and then it creates a very efficient system.
Flexible feet, immense legs, and reinforced hips. Spino was a phenomenal running machine. If Spinosaurus was coming for you, you'd better learn how to hide.
If you ran in a straight line and it was chasing you, it would get you, unless, unfortunately, we're at the right height for it to grasp, to snap out with those jaws. All dinosaurs were...
Of its arms, bigger than a grown man, was tipped with 3 massive meat hooks. How did Spino use them? And just how much damage could they inflict? We scientifically resurrect this creature. But it had another formidable weapon. Huge razor-sharp claws on muscular arms. By comparison, Spino looks like a bodybuilder with giant claws. The claws easily rip into flesh, but could they have slashed through the armored skin of prehistoric prey? But there's still one big mystery to explain. What did that spine that gave this saurus its name actually do? It may have looked like something from a Japanese monster movie, but Spinosaurus was no fictional creation. This real-life Godzilla once ruled the Earth. Unfortunately, we know very little about this awesome animal. It's the ultimate cold case.
The Lost missed what it is that makes Spinosaurus so interesting because we couldn't look at its bones. Nothing in the world today has a sail like Spinosaurus.
A prehistoric predator like Spinosaurus was constantly on the move. Nature has provided a way for some animals to cool off. Sail may have had a similar role in that superheated climate.
Structure like a sail.
Another theory is that instead of being a device to keep cool, the sail was a way for males to look cool. It's quite common in animals for males to sport extravagant. Hell, if Spino had these sense organs. The giant claws that Spinosaurus could use to disembowel its victims would serve just as well as a pair of monstrous hooks. Remarkably, the largest ever land predator was also a formidable water predator. Spinosaurus was adaptable and apparently invincible. a gigantic multi-purpose killing machine from which nothing on land or in water was safe. Today, another battle for supremacy. And Spinosaurus was top alpha dog. It was the biggest land predator the world has ever seen. So big, even a rival giant predator like Carcharodontosaurus would have been no match for its power.
Spinosaurus, given its huge size, probably could have.
We've seen that Spinosaurus was the perfect killer, with jaws, claws, teeth, and speed that easily dominated the Cretaceous landscape. But about 95 million years ago, within the blink of an eye in geological time, this monster disappears. Why?
Spinosaurus was the last of its kind.
Food difficult for Spino. And when you're this big, you need to eat all the time. Spinosaurus's own massive size is becoming more of a problem than an asset. It was only equipped to kill increasingly scarce big prey. Smaller predators like rugops could handle the change. Spinosaurus was forced to scavenge, and its size was no help against a pack of small, agile predators. The once invincible Spinosaurus that ruled a world of giants is fighting for its life. And Spinosaurus had one major design flaw.
Those spines are fused to the vertebra. So
Spino's amazing sail, whether cooling device, sexual ornament, or fishing apparatus, was a symbol of a creature that was too big and too specialized to live in a rapidly shifting environment. 95 million years ago, the world changed, but Spinosaurus could not change with it.
The adaptations of Spinosaurus, including iterations, were just the wrong thing for that environment. It was too big to survive anymore.
We have resurrected a monster, reconstructed the life of a beast that looks like it stepped out of a horror movie, and rebuilt the biggest But what other monsters lie beneath our world? Monsters waiting for resurrection.